Hi everybody. Welcome to Sheepish Short. Hi everybody. Welcome to Sheepish Stories. I haven't thought about up to this point that Sheepish Stories is alliteration. It's going to be tricky to say. Oh well. Uh, Welcome to this episode. This is part of my Traveling with a Storyteller series with my grandpa where I was in North Dakota. This was our trip to the Keller Hardware store or hotel or implement shop with Gary Keller as our host and guide. He was an incredibly sweet and wonderful guy. So I hope you enjoy.
Well, my name is Gary Keller, and this is Keller Hardware, which used to be the Keller Hotel. And if you ever want to come and see it, we give tours. We usually like you to call a day ahead. My grandpa's name was Valentine Keller, and he bought it from Will Cleveringa and Louis Dornbush. And he ran this implement shop from 1911 until about 1916. And then he decided to build a hotel in this same spot. So they took the building and took the roof off and the front off, and they built a hotel over that little implement shop. But he had another building in back by the alley that he continued to sell farm equipment out of. And he also fixed this hotel with a basement that had a big cellar door, and he would work down in the basement in the winter months. He used that for his winter workshop because the hotel was always kept nice and warm, whereas his shop in back, he didn't heat it once it got real cold.
Yeah.
And my grandpa and grandma, at the time he built this hotel, they had 9 girls in a row. 9 girls.
Oh, jeez.
And so they had plenty of help for the restaurant. They had waitresses, the chambermaids,
Wow.
dishwashers.
So it's always been in your family.
So it's been in the family for over 113 years. Yeah.
That's fantastic. So why did they make it like a hotel and stuff from the implement shop? They just wanted to expand for more business?
He wanted to expand because the railroad had just come through maybe 10 years before that. They didn't have a modern hotel in Strasburg at the time. With this hotel, they advertised hot and cold run-in water, electric lights, and steam heat. And these were all things that little hotels out here on the prairies didn't have. Many of these little towns didn't have any electric systems at all. And then they didn't have any water systems. Everyone used wells.
Sure.
And they also didn't have individual heat in each room as they did with this new modern heating system.
Wow. So they kind of had a monopoly on it at that point.
Yeah, so, and then he built it, he was a block from the railroad depot. And with the restaurant, he was able to get a lot of business, both from the town and also from the travelers when they passed through here.
Wow.
I have a picture of the hotel when it was finished in it was built in 16 and finished that winter at 16 and 17, and then it was opened in this March of 1917. And that picture of there shows my grandparents on the left. There are 9 girls all the way up to the top, and the man on the right side married the oldest girl. He was my grandpa's mechanic, and he would put farm equipment together and work on whatever buggies or whatever they sold in those days.
Really?
And actually, that picture was taken about 6 months before he died from the flu, the Spanish influenza.
Really?
He died in 1918, and he died in room number 11, which is on the top floor on the left side.
Wow.
Yeah. And then a year later, his wife married this man's brother. And then after that, in fact, she was even pregnant with the first husband's child when he died.
So he wasn't that old.
No,
The guy that
no,
died.
he died in his early 20s.
Oh.
Yeah. And now we're going to go upstairs. Like I said earlier, this side over here was the restaurant, and there was a doorway going out where this one bigger window is, so you could come into the restaurant without going through the lobby.
Gotcha.
And in back, you can kind of see where there's doors back there that went back to the kitchen. Now the stairway is behind these paint racks. Once it was changed to a hardware store during World War II, they closed the upper floor and then they closed the stairway going up.
Huh.
And we'll go up there now and take a look around.
And it's a hidden door.
Yeah. So watch your head there, Taylor.
Yeah.
You're about the tallest guy here.
We'll give it the attempt. Squeeze on in. So you said around World War II is when the hotel would have closed?
In about 1942, I guess.
Now,
Be careful, yeah, we had an issue with the roof. We had
you're
it
fine.
worked on a few weeks ago, but they didn't quite get it all fixed in
oh,
time.
you're fine. So, okay, so why did it close? Just lack of business because of World War II then?
Once the war started, there was gas rationing and tire rationing and stuff. And by then, a lot of the salesmen that used to travel through on the train started using phones for orders and stuff. And especially during the war, to conserve fuel and whatever.
Yeah.
And so, and the town didn't have a good hardware store. They had a few implement shops, including my grandpa's, but none of those really sold a lot of hardware.
Gotcha.
There was general stores, but they were more food and clothing and just household supplies. Okay, what we'll do, we have some of the original forms from the registration book we found in the basement. So if you want to sign in, I'll find a real nice room for you.
All
I'll
right.
make sure you got a view of the city.
All right.
This little desk was on the wall down in the lobby, so that if you wanted to write a postcard or a letter, you had a little privacy.
And I would like to order a case of
Old Milwaukee.
Old Milwaukee or Black Label.
Okay. I'll check. There's cooler's got a lot of beer in it down there.
Okay.
If my help didn't drink it all.
And how many ladies can I bring?
Well, only one per customer.
Okay.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
There he is.
Okay, let's jump in this room.
Shall we?
And these are
There's
the
the
keys. These are the keys they use.
Yeah.
All them skeleton keys, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was 3 rooms up here that still had the original furnishings. When there was several occasions where a family would have a house fire, and once it was a hardware store, they decided to give away the beds and stuff to people that needed them.
Interesting.
So there's only 3 rooms left that have the original beds, but they've been in here for over 100 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So you said they donated the beds to people who had house fires?
Yeah.
That's really nice.
Yeah, and the dressers too.
Wow.
This was the kind of dressers they had in those days. And those girls, their job was to come in, if a room was used, they had to come and make sure that the wash basin was clean and that there was a fresh pitcher of water. The towels, they'd have to put in clean towels and make sure that the soap was.
You can go, Grandpa.
And one of the first things that the Gideons did when this hotel opened was they came around and supplied Bibles for each room. And the Gideon Society is still very active. They
Really?
still do that, yeah. And this is one of the original ones. The copyright, I think, was about 1915. We found a couple of those,
Wow.
yeah.
I watch a lot of Gunsmoke movies, and they still show this here.
Oh, yeah,
The wash base and
yeah.
these kind of dressers.
Another thing the
Yes.
girls had to check was this little door down here. and there's a chamber pot.
Yeah.
So there was only one restroom for the women and one for the men. So if that room was occupied and you needed to use the bathroom, the chamber pot was available.
Oh, but that there had running water, right?
Yeah, right.
And I see a jar out here with tips. Did they really tip those things?
I'm sorry.
Oh, no,
I
you're
cut you
fine.
off there.
Did they really?
Well, no, that's one that my brother Dick did most of the work up here,
Oh,
and I
But
put that up to kind of reimburse him for some of the money he spent.
oh.
Yeah,
But they didn't really tip those things.
I don't think so.
So how much work, you just said that, how much work did you have to do up here?
Well, it was mainly cleaning up.
Okay.
You know.
So it stayed in
But
pretty
many
good
of the-
condition?
Many of the ceiling areas had loose plaster and stuff, so we broke it down and put up this white fiberboard.
Oh, yeah.
And actually what happened here was because of a leak, it broke some of that down, so we got to have the leak fixed, but we have to
So
do a
can
little
I
more
still
repair work.
can I
But we
still,
did it mainly to keep it clean.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
can I still put tip money in here?
Yeah, you can, but you don't have to. That's more for out of towners.
Oh, for out of town?
We found some of the original tables and dishes from the hotel restaurant that was downstairs.
Really?
And at the time we did this in about 2000, some of my aunts were still alive. Some of the ladies on
Yeah.
the picture that worked up in the restaurant, and they told us that the original hotel restaurant had oilcloth tablecloths, and they were red and white checkerboard.
Wow.
And these were the chairs, and we just set this room up as a kind of like a little kitchen, but I mean a restaurant, but it was really, the restaurant was really downstairs.
Yes.
You know.
So what was in that big barrel?
That's a water cooler.
That is, that was a.
Yeah, you fill it with water, and there's a spout in front,
Okay.
and they had one of those available, and yeah.
Now, you said you found a lot of this stuff. So was it up here hidden away, or where was it that you found some
Actually,
of
the
this?
tables were in the basement.
They were.
Yeah, the dishes were at the local church. The Catholic Church has a dining and meeting room in the basement.
Yeah.
And when we were doing a benefit for one of our Lions members that was ill, I was feeding this commercial dishwasher, and my brother Dick was taking the dishes out. And when he looked at the back of one of the plates, and then he said, "Does this emblem on the back of this plate look familiar?" And when I looked at it, I said, "You know, there's some water pitchers and wash basins upstairs, and I think that's the same emblem."
Wow.
And as it turned out, when they closed the restaurant, nobody wanted these plain dishes.
Huh.
So they gave them all to the church. Huh. You know, in those days, and even now, people wanted dishes with decorations and stuff.
Of course.
So they gave them all to the church, and they used them when there were meals served for funerals or for weddings or whatever was held down there.
Wow.
And at the time, when we were working on this, cleaning it up, they were planning to throw those dishes away because they were getting chipped and discolored.
Yeah.
And so they said we could have them, and they said just take them. We don't hardly ever use them. See, and so we gave them a little donation, and that worked out good.
That's amazing that you found those, just
Yeah,
happenstance.
This room, one of my sisters that helped clean this up a little bit, put a little chapel in here. We have some stuff from early churches that used to be out in the country.
Oh,
That
wow.
iron cross is from the first Catholic church that was out here. And there's a picture of it behind you on the wall. And that's this one right here. That was the first church.
That was the
And it was
church.
actually out in the country about a mile north of town.
Yeah.
And then later it was moved to town. And so it was the priest's house. And then anyway, after a few years, they built a brick church. And then they remodeled this church for some of the Catholic nuns that came here to teach.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same building, but they took the steeple off. And then later, they even remodeled it again and moved it across the street and added on with a balcony and stuff. And so That
See, years
church was used for other purposes.
years ago, the priest would always stay next to the church.
Yeah.
And the nuns, even by us, the nuns came out during the summer.
And they stayed right there, right?
Yeah, during the summer class. Yeah, they stayed there for 2 weeks. They had their own house.
I should tell you a story about this room.
I'd love to.
Back in the early 20s, a lot of these little towns had boxing matches, and here they had them down in the blue room.
Yeah.
And they would usually have a few rounds with local people from neighboring towns or from in town, and then they would have a main event where they would have some more popular boxers that would come from the bigger towns.
Yeah.
And in one of the early events, there was a man that was from Ashley that was boxing, and he got knocked out. The doctor was out of town. They tried to revive him, but they couldn't wake him up. So the man that told me this story said that we each grabbed a limb, and the four of us carried this man down here. Your grandpa said he's up in room number 8. I'll come up with the key. So they brought him up here and they put him in bed, and then we went back down to the boxing match. Then I said, well, who stayed with that man? He said, well, nobody did. He said, we didn't want to miss the main event. And then I asked him, I said, well, do you think the man died? And then he thought for a second, and he said, no, I'm sure he didn't. We would have heard about it.
So I hear there was some good boxers then, eh?
There was, yeah.
I heard that a singer was a good boxer, or Gene Shell was a good boxer.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Now the blue room, because you're asking, or you told me about that. What is the blue room like? A arena or like a what is the blue room?
It's been a supper or night dance hall for many years.
It's
Really?
attached to the back of a bar, and they used to, when they built it, it was mainly, I think it was probably a bowling alley at first.
Yeah.
But then they changed it later to a pool hall, and they had about 6 or 8 pool tables. And then after a few years, the new owners that bought it added on and made a big area that they used for a theater. And they had theater chairs like this that had slats on the bottom.
Yeah.
And they could move those theaters chairs out of the way, and they would have roller skating in there. And then they would also have weddings, or they would have, let's see what else, would have dances. Dancing was real popular back in their early years, and they would have dances often Friday night, and they would have wedding dances on weekends when there were weddings.
Wow.
Yeah. We're going to give you a job.
Okay.
When we leave the rooms, you turn the lights out.
Okay.
Okay. This next room was kind of a popular room because you had a view of Main Street. And a salesman told me that he'd have my grandpa save this room for him every 5 weeks when he came around, because sometimes in the summer, they would have, the band would play, or they'd have a vaudeville act out there, and he could hear the band from the room up here.
Really?
If you came alone, Willie, for a room, it would cost you 50 cents. It was $1 for a couple, and if you needed a room with 2 double beds, it was $2.
Wow. So how much that room I just signed up for, will that?
Oh, that's a 50-cent one.
50 cents.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Yeah.
And somebody left their hat here, eh?
Yeah, and also here's a picture, a wedding picture.
And are these windows too so totally sealed now, or?
Well, they're just metal
Covering
on
them
the
up?
outside, yeah. And this is a wedding picture that was left here by someone that must have rented a room.
Wow.
And it was folded up in one of the drawers. And when I was about 10 years old, and us kids were playing up here, we opened a drawer, and here was this picture. And I was sure it was one of my uncles or aunts or something, so I took it down and asked my dad, and then he said, gee, he doesn't have any idea who that is. He said, they must have left it behind.
Somebody left ties here? Was there any panties found?
No, I didn't. I don't think so.
My dad always
Priorities.
wore, I wonder if my dad was here. My dad always wore hats.
Oh,
like
he
that.
did, huh? Okay, that could have been. Yeah, I think most of those guys did, didn't they? Those old guys, they all wore hats.
They always wore, and my dad loved hats like this.
I remember Peter joking, he always wore straw hats.
Straw hats? Yeah. But this wouldn't have been my
You
dad.
look pretty good.
That's
That
a
makes
pretty
you
sharp
a lot
look.
Smarter and richer.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have been my dad's hat because my dad's, this was a big guy. Yeah.
That wouldn't have fit him, huh? We had this open for people to see during the city centennial.
Oh, really?
And in this room, we had different things from local musicians. I've got posters that advertise for dances for their bands. Mike Dosh was a very popular musician. He was a real expert he had just the ear for music. And he played by ear. He didn't know how to read music.
Really?
Yeah. And he would only have to hear a song and practice it a couple times and he could play it. He was just really had to. And anyway, he was a local television and radio personality.
Oh, really?
He would drive to Bismarck and he worked for a station, KFYR TV.
Oh yeah, he wasn't, yes.
And he was on noontime news, remember that?
Yes. Oh,
and
yeah.
every day he would drive up, he had a 61 Cadillac. Here's a picture of that Cadillac.
Yeah.
And that trailer he used to pull this organ around. This was his organ that he would use. If he had a gig out in a different town, he would put his organ in there. He has rollers on the back as well as on the bottom. And he said he could load and unload that thing by himself unless there was stairs.
Yeah.
And he said he took it all over the state, in other states too, because sometimes they'd have a wedding in South Dakota or somewhere. But that was his organ, yeah. And some of those were his too, but they weren't the one that he used on TV like that one.
Yeah.
Most of the time he played on a Hammond organ. He was just really an expert at that. In this room, we just put some old furniture and a few things in here. Because this room too would have had 2 double beds. Yeah.
You think they would have all been wallpapered? Because I see the
No,
wallpaper
that
on the
was
wall.
just the trim.
Oh, just the
That
trim,
was
I
just
see.
the
And look at the old marbles. Everybody used to
Yeah,
play
we used to play marbles all the time.
Yes,
Didn't we?
oh
And look
my
at the
God.
shooter here.
the shooter. And this
Yeah.
was a shooter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they called them the shooters, the big guys.
They're bigger, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of the guys would have an even bigger one, a rollerball.
Yes.
Remember that?
I used to play that in front of my grandma's house with my cousins.
Oh.
Yeah, right here in Strasburg.
Who were some of your cousins?
Well, Felix Bunker.
Oh, sure.
Casper Launier.
Oh. But anyway,
No,
this
more
room
than-
we fixed up like an early day kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And usually they would have a table that they prepared the food on and a table that they ate on. They didn't have a lot of appliances. Everything was hand mixers, hand this and that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at all them old Crocs.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah, everybody used Crocs in those days.
Yes.
Yeah. These are more of the dishes that I was telling you about, and this is that emblem. The company that made it, see, and
Oh, yeah.
and that's how we recognize these as coming from this hotel. Yeah.
Everybody used them Crocs.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's just the way it was. Yeah. Is this hidden? Is this locked? Was this the way down? What is this?
He wants to know what the
Just
secret room
storage
is.
It had shelves in it,
Oh.
and then the girls could get extra pillows or
Oh, I
sheets out of
see.
there. Yeah, there was one on each side, and that's,
That's funny how they could, that they would get that then. So whoever designed this knew something about hotel.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're right. This is another room that has all the stuff that's been in there from 1916.
Oh,
Old
really? All
suitcases.
original, huh?
Yeah, there was some stuff left behind, and
Another pot.
yeah,
Chamber pot?
Yeah.
Right
over
there.
here.
yeah.
Hide away in the
There's
door.
one on the side too.
Yeah.
I see that now.
You know, I gave Tony Baumgartner one like that for,
No, did you?
for the farm, the sod house, and that's the only thing they stole.
Oh,
from her house.
somebody stole it? Oh,
Somebody
what
stole it.
crazy
That's
stuff.
the only thing they stole. I gave her old
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
That next room there, we had fixed up, the one there, number 2, as a barber shop.
Really?
A local barber retired and he had an old chair that he let us put in there. And then we had different kinds of hand tools that the barbers used in the early days before electricity. And but when we were done with the centennial, he wanted his chair back because his son wanted it.
Oh,
And
sure.
his son had it rebuilt and re-chromed and recovered with leather, and it's just a beautiful chair.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Shall we
Yeah.
take a look?
And we, like I said, the chair got taken back.
Sure.
Still got old newspapers here.
Yeah.
Some old papers and stuff.
2005.
Here's the
It's
one.
vintage now.
Did you ever read the Dakota Farmer?
Oh, that's right. They used to have the Dakota Farmer.
1915.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody left that behind, I guess.
yeah. And this is a spit platoon.
Yeah, platoons were
I
popular.
had them all over in the bars.
Yeah. What would you do with it?
Spit in it.
Yeah.
When
Just
you chew tobacco, then you could spit.
Yeah. And this here, oh, leaking, huh?
Oh, it did.
For chafing. I
Wow.
got one sitting like this. I had 2 of them, but Mary wanted one so bad, so I gave her one. They would put
Shaving brush, yeah.
in the mixed
Shaving
bath.
cream?
Yeah.
Maybe don't shave right now.
Oh, and here's the clipper for haircut.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Gary, you mentioned a while ago the tippers. The tippers are only out of town. You know
Well,
how-
I mean, people that
you know how long I've been out of town?
well, a long
64
time.
years. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna put
Well,
tippers
you don't know.
for repairs.
Okay, but coming into this last room, because this room has the original fixtures from the first bank in town.
Yeah.
The first bank, and I've got a picture of it here too. This is room number 1. See,
Room
this is,
number 1.
This is where I keep all my money.
Oh.
Now these were teller
Oh.
cages. These were teller cages that were in the first bank.
Wow.
And a few guys, years ago especially, a few old guys would tell me they remember coming in and cashing in gopher tails because the county had a 1 cent
Yes.
bounty for gopher tails, and the banks would pay you for them. And one man told me that when they turned some in and got $1 for it, that evening when they were running around town, they looked in the bank's burning barrel that was outside behind, and they on the bottom they could see that matchbox. It was from one of those wooden matches. They had that box, and those would hold 100 tails. And they could see it down there. It was kind of charred up, but it hadn't burned. So they dug it out of that burning barrel and took it home and got a new or a fresh matchbox. And then they waited about 2 or 3 weeks, and then they turned it in again. So they got another $1. And he said $1 was a lot of money in those days
yes.
for kids, especially. You know.
Sounds like what he would do.
You know, me
But
and,
yeah, it was
me and
probably
my,
him. Huh?
you know, me and my brother Donnie, the Queen men would come out to us
Oh, you're right.
from Hague. In those days they did. And it was Frank Everly.
From Hague.
Yeah, there was a lot of Everlys there that
Yeah.
were in business. And he is counting all these tails. He says, yeah, boys, in German, it looks like you cut some in half. And Donnie says, that was Willie. And he said, next time, if I find some cut in half, you're not going to get nothing.
Oh, no.
But we also got a penny apiece.
Yeah.
And I think that was just the bounty. Yeah, they were just paying the kids that
Yeah.
just to get them off the, you know.
Yeah.
Get rid of
because
the
there was
vermin.
so many.
Yeah. See, there's a picture of that first bank.
Oh,
That was the
was it called First Bank?
It was called the Security State Bank.
Oh,
And then, in fact, our bank that's across the street, that's built over that building. They tore some of the front off,
really?
and so the vault and stuff from that first bank is still in that building. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
This is an early adding machine, and it doesn't have any paper. It just adds it up here on top. See?
Yeah.
And the way that works is you put, like if it's $2.50, when you push it down, it puts it up on top. And it's kind of neat because if you make a mistake, you can cancel.
Yeah.
And if you wanna repeat, you push this little lever down. 1, 2, and there's a little counter down here. 3, 4. So,
Look at there.
and the last time that'll clean it out. So it's kind of a neat little thing, but that was all.
Yeah.
And there's other different office equipment.
And there's
back
still
there.
money laying there.
Yeah, somebody made a deposit and
Oh.
the worker didn't show up yet. So.
Some free change back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That light actually was one of the lights downstairs in the dining room. There was
Yeah.
3 of them that lit up the dining room, yeah.
Yeah. So I gotta make sure all the lights are out, yeah?
Yep.
That's important.
Yeah, for sure. Especially those days, yeah?
Yeah. This is the bathroom and that's still the furniture that was in there. There was a ladies' room here too, but they had taken the fixtures out and now we're just storing
Oh.
junk in there and
There was
stuff.
even a tub in there? With the,
And that was really modern in those
Yes,
days. They had
oh my
running water
God, with the nice,
inside.
the nice lakes, the
Mm-hmm.
bottom lakes.
Yeah, clawed feet.
Yes.
Well, my dad told me a few different stories of how it was when he was a kid. And one of the stories he told me was when he was real young, 5 years old, that one night he was going to stay over there. They had a little bed behind the registration desk.
Uh-huh.
And he was staying over here with his dad or whoever was the night person. And anyway, there was a vaudeville act in town that night, and it was with a trained bear. And my dad says that when the act was over that evening, they brought the bear in and took it down to the basement and chained it to a post down there. And it was in the summer and the doors were open going down to the basement to get the air circulating good. And he said he couldn't fall asleep because every time that bear walked around that post, the chain would tinkle on the concrete floor. And he just knew that bear was going to get out and come up and get him. And when he was older, one of his jobs was to go down in the morning, early in the morning, 5:30 or 6, and light the water heater. That was a wood burning heater that was connected to the pipes. And his job was to get that going so that when people came up here and wanted to bathe or shave or something, that there was hot water. And another thing, he would be the first one up, and a lot of times later in the evening, like the evening before, someone would come in and ask if they could store their pickup in the garage in back, because there was some indoor storage for cars back there.
Yeah.
And he said he'd often go back there. He said, and he remembers a few times where a local guy would come in and ask if he could put his pickup in back there. And so that next morning when he went to light the stove, after he had it going, he'd walk back there and check. And on the back of that pickup was a tarp. Underneath the tarp there was a bunch of straw. When you dug in the straw, there was bottles of moonshine.
Really?
Liquor, yeah. And he said, he never told me if he swiped any bottles.
Yeah.
But another thing he would do sometimes if he'd check and there'd be a real fancy car like a Duesenberg or a Stutz Bearcat or some real fancy car, and then he'd sit in it and pretend it was his, you know. But
You know, those days the moonshine was made with fruit.
with food?
Fruit.
All fruit.
Oh, fruit, yeah.
And
A lot of them did.
Then
Yeah.
it was better than now it's grain alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a copy of the ad that my grandpa ran in Aberdeen Daily News. And it advertises a new hotel and that I have engaged a first-class cook and will endeavor to give the best of service. And some of the older people in town years ago, they would ask me, who was that cook? Because they thought it might be someone they knew or were related to. And we never did find out, but I suspect that it was my grandpa's oldest girl who married the mechanic
Yeah.
that died in room number 11.
Yeah.
I suspect it was her because being the oldest person and the oldest girl in the family with 8 younger sisters and a younger brother, which was my dad, that she had to help cook, bake, and all that stuff from a very early age. And I'm thinking because she married the mechanic who was working for my grandpa anyway, she probably was this first-class cook. And I'll bet she was a damn good cook by then, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And here's
That's so.
here's some boxing gloves I used to use when I was a kid. They were way too big for me. They were my older brothers.
Oh, really?
And me being
They
a,
were,
being
yeah.
a stupid kid when I was about 5 or 6, or I must have been 7 or so. My older brother and his buddies would talk me and my cousin into having boxing matches. The gloves were way too big, and after about maybe 1.5 matches, both of us decided this is BS. We don't need to beat up on each other because we were pretty good friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the room that my Uncle Lawrence comes in, or died in, I mean, and we never come in here at night because I don't feel comfortable doing that.
No.
That's the first phone in town and the sign that was there.
That was the first phone in town?
Yeah, and the phone number was number 50.
Number 50.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you didn't have to dial many numbers.
No, in fact, it went through a switchboard,
Yeah.
and my mom grew up in Lincoln. And when she was a teenager, probably from 13 on, she would help the lady up there who ran the switchboard. Because if the lady wanted to go away, even just to go shopping or something, she wanted somebody at the switchboard. And a lot of times in the evening, they would want to go to a dancer or to a friend's house or even leave town. And then my mom and some of her friends would fill in as a switchboard operator.
Really?
And she was the one that told me that she remembered the hotel here was number 50.
Wow.
Yeah, that sign up there was out on the outside by
I
the
mean-
door that went up into the restaurant.
I remember those signs as a young boy.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
they were on top of the phones.
yeah.
Yeah. And the first time I talked into a phone like that, I was afraid. I don't know why. I was
Yeah,
afraid
yeah.
to talk.
Really? You weren't
Yeah.
sure what you would hear?
I don't know why, but I was.
Yeah, we kind of fixed this room up kind of like a little general store, but we just kept piling stuff in. And it's usually stuff, old stuff from years ago, different businesses that were here, you know. Here was one that was across the street, and it was John Tillema, and he sold McCormick Daring machinery. And my grandpa sold John Deere, and then there was another one that sold Case.
Years ago, the owners of stores, they would hand them out as little Christmas presents.
Yeah.
The thermometers like that?
Yeah.
Like this here thermometer, they would give one away, but smaller, just
Yeah.
a little small one.
Yeah.
And my Aunt Lizzie from Sealand, they owned Lockers grocery store.
Lockers. That
And
was
they,
years ago.
yes, and they hand out little thermometers
Okay.
with their name on there. And
Yeah.
I still got one somewhere.
This one is one that a general store gave away in 1926, and it says Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And you can see it was used quite a bit.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
chipped, it's discolored, and,
Well loved.
and they gave away stuff like that every year. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, well, now
I'm sure he did
this is
find
a little
out.
more than you needed to know, but anyway, that's my grandpa and grandmother. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of the things I told you about the basement being used for his winter workshop.
Yeah.
In 1928, they had a John Deere tractor school, and they had it in the Keller Hotel basement on February 5th. And my dad, he found some of these posters in the basement one day, and then he told me that he remembered that because he was about 14 then. And he said what they did was they took a small John Deere tractor, which was kind of a middle-sized tractor. It would probably be like a B or something. Well,
Yeah.
the Bs they didn't make it. It would have been a GP probably.
The ones you used to color rake, yeah?
Yeah,
They had the
yeah.
wheels together.
And then they put this tractor in the basement and they put it up on blocks. The back end they blocked up. They took the tires off, and then they had a little step there that they would teach farmers how to run a tractor, how to use the clutch, how to shift it, where the brakes are, how to start it. Because those had to be started by hand.
Yeah.
Some of them you'd turn the flywheel, some of them had a handle that you could crank it with.
Yeah.
So they'd have to be taught how to do it.
Yeah, and that was when they were transitioning from horses to tractors. And it was just, they'd started in their early teens, even before that, but it never really got going good until the late teens and the 20s.
Yeah.
And especially the 20s, because times were really good. Crops were good, and a lot of them were switching over. But anyway, that's what in the basement they had
Do you remember,
John Deere school.
Do you remember turning those tractors? When you crank it, sometimes it would kick back.
Yeah,
Man, that would hurt your arm. Remember that?
That never happened to me because I only cranked a little bit. And usually an old car or something.
It would happen to me on the farm, them older tractors. You would try to turn them, they kick back, and man,
just about break your thumb or your arm.
Your arm, yes. But I remember when the tractors first came out, some old farmer says they'll never replace horses. Look what happened. Look what happened.
Gary, when did you take over this place?
The hardware store?
Yeah.
Well, it would have been in the late 60s. I actually took over in the early 70s.
Yeah.
I was away at college and with the Army for a few years, and I did live in Minneapolis for about a year.
Really?
And then I came back in the late 60s, and I was single yet, and I thought I'd see what's going on here. And when I got back from the service, the company I worked for in Minneapolis was on strike.
Oh, yeah?
It was and so then I thought I'll come to Strasburg, and after I got here, and I stayed a while, and pretty soon I got married, and I'm still here.
And how long have you guys done, tours or shown up here? Did you start doing that? Did your family do that beforehand?
One of my younger brothers, Dick, was the one that thought it would be a good idea, because years ago, the 50s and 60s, people would ask us about the hotel.
Did they remember it? Or?
Some of them had never been up here, most of them probably, because this was mainly for traveling people.
Sure.
And so Dick said, the city's going to have a centennial coming up in a few years. Why don't we kind of clean the place up and let people go up and look at it?
Yeah.
And then after we worked on it a little bit, then Dick said, I've got some old furniture. He had bought an old house in town, and it had a bunch of old furniture. And he said, why don't we fix up one of the empty rooms so that we can make it look like an old living room?
Yeah.
And then he did the same thing with that bank teller cages and stuff. That was something that my grandpa bought when the banks all closed back in the 30s. They had a sale, and they were selling, because the banks filed bankruptcy, and they would sell the building and whatever fixtures were inside.
Sure.
And so my grandpa went over to buy a roll-top desk, because he had one, but the ones in the bank were 5-footers. And he wanted a nicer, bigger one. And then he ended up buying the teller.
He got it all.
And he got all kinds of files that had correspondence in there, and they talk about World War I and different things about the bad things over in Europe and stuff.
That's amazing.
So anyway, so Dick, it was his idea too. He says, we've got that old stuff in the back room there. Why don't we put it together and make it look like a bank?
Yeah.
And the same with the dishes. We found when he got the tables out, and then later, about a half a year later, we found out about the dishes. So we just kept adding to it. That little love seat was also some of the furniture that was down in the base, in the lobby.
Yeah.
It was matching rockers and matching chairs, and they were covered with leather. I think they were covered with brown leather, and this one's been restored. But Dick did, I would say, 75% of the work here. There was 3 other brothers besides he and I, and they all helped a little bit.
Yeah.
And like I said, some of my sisters helped. But Dick was the one that kept at it and kept us helping him a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so.
And how often do you bring people up here? Is it often or
It
not?
just
not
depends.
Often?
If you look on here, sometimes there's weeks that go by and we don't have anybody.
Yeah.
And then other times, especially in the summer, it's more often. Here's 721. This is all of 22. That was last year. 721, 801, 804, 810, and so on. See. So it depends. In the winter, we don't do much because it's not heated and it's kind of cold.
Oh, sure. That's fair enough.
And most people don't. Yeah.
And I
So-
found the ashtray full of ashes.
Full of ashes?
Oh,
I mean, and cigarettes.
As that goes?
Smoking, yeah.
No.
Yeah, we started in the year 2000.
That's when you started recording
Yeah.
it? Or when you first let people
When
up
we
here?
first started recording, and actually we didn't have it all fixed up yet, but while we were working on it, sometimes other people would ask what we're doing up there, and if we were working that day or that night, then we'd let them come up here then. Yeah. Yeah, see, like this too, it's another one of those little dishes that's got markers on it.
All part of the set.
Yeah, okay, well.
Okay,
Well, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Gary.
you're welcome, Taylor.
Yes.
It's really nice meeting you guys.
You as well.
You can see down there how that opening, that was much bigger, of course, and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. At our age, yeah. At our age, I guess we gotta hang on.
Yeah. And we got a
So-
light switch down there.
So was this railing here all this time, that pipe?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this side of the board.
Yeah. That pipe been here many years, Taylor.
Really?
Yeah, the building has for sure.
Building has, yeah. Yeah, me and Gary go way back. We used to do a lot of black labels and
Yeah, Black Label and Old
old
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
We can afford, right?
And Leo Baumgartner, Charlie Keefer, and
Charlie.
Donnie, my brother. There was a bunch of us.
Charlie died pretty young.
Charlie
he was in
died-
a car accident back
Died
in
so young. He was 20
Probably-
years old.
about 1960, I think.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I was already in Milwaukee.
How old was Donnie when he died?
Donnie was 74.
74.
Yeah, he died. He died young. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
You
know,
know what?
Donnie never did nothing.
What do you mean? He worked, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he worked, but he never did nothing with his money. I don't know.
Spend it down.
The more money he got, the tighter he got. I don't
Oh,
know.
really?
That's the kind of guy he
Well,
was.
his kids then had.
Huh?
Did he have
He
children?
never had children.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
What were you in the will?
We was all in the will.
Oh, okay.
And he met this nurse, and this nurse took him in. Then her brother became a notary,
Yeah.
and then they changed the will,
Oh my goodness.
and he notarized it.
And the brother got
He died.
got the stuff then, or most of it.
The girlfriend, yeah,
The nurse.
the nurse.
Yeah.
But it's
just-
only money.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? But
That's the way I feel, and I'm so glad because even though I've been working there for 50 years, I still enjoy it. I'm dealing with small town people, farmers, ranchers. They're all regular people. I don't have to worry about vandalism or
Yeah.
stealing. You know, once in a while a kid steals a baseball or something, but it isn't like in the bigger stores where there's such a problem. My nephew's running the store, but just like today, he had things he wanted to do, take off because I don't mind helping.
right.
And it gives me something to do. So many of my friends are retired and they don't really have much to do except go golfing
Yeah.
or fishing.
You know,
And
people ask.
after they do it 100 times in the summer, then it's kind of lost its.
You know, people
It's
used
funny.
to ask me to go golfing or fishing. I says, I sooner paint. I love to paint.
Oh,
I've been painting all my life.
especially outdoors, right?
Yes, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Yeah, outdoors, inside. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried golfing. I used to love to fish, but not no more. I don't know why.
Yeah, I like to fish too, but I like you said, when we were young, we fished a lot.
Yes.
And we just,
Yeah.
and bullheads, anything we could
Yes.
catch.
I
And
used
now
to love.
I go this summer. I went twice,
Yeah.
but it's fun just to be out by the lake because it's so peaceful. You just hear the geese squawking and stuff, and then you see boats going by, or you're in a boat bobbing around.
Yeah.
It's just so nice.
You know, last year we rented a place up north in Shawano, and the whole family, Taylor was there, his mom, his brother, but anyway, there was 20 of us or better. So I went and bought a license. I never even used it. I thought for sure. So Jaime, my son-in-law, brought an extra rod.
You never use it, huh?
Never used it. It's still in my wallet, but it's no longer. It's expired, but yeah.
Well, my wife and I have always loved to travel.
Yeah,
And
that's what I like.
and
That's good.
we travel all over. In fact, we've been to probably, I don't know, 25 to 30 different countries.
That's,
This year we went to Ecuador.
Oh, that's
And
good.
we've taken trips. We've taken some long ones. The longest one we've taken was to China, and
Really?
and with all the different hops and the layovers and stuff, I think it was like 35 hours.
So that's good.
And
You
so you
That's
know,
a travel.
and we were trying to get these long ones in the way while our health is good,
do,
because
for sure.
Good choice.
I'm going to be 80 in a few months, and you know, things happen with all of us. We're all going to have issues, and most of us have issues already. But as long as they aren't too serious, you know.
For sure.
And we've had some wonderful trips, and we've met some wonderful people. And wherever you go, no matter what country or what state or what city, there's always a lot of regular people that are doing just what we're doing. Living and doing family stuff, trying to make a living if we're younger, especially.
That's right.
Working hard, or some aren't working too hard. But
That's why you still look
and
so
well, I wouldn't say I look.
good. Why you do.
And maybe
you're
if
aging.
for the people that think I'm 100, I look pretty good.
Yeah, anyway.
Doesn't look a day over 80.
Traveling. Yeah, it's good.
That's what my hobby is, and I've been so lucky
Yeah.
because my dad was still around for the first 10 years that I took over the store. And then I had other family members. Like I said, my brother Dick was in business with us.
Yeah.
He's helped so many times. He would do the remodeling, wiring, plumbing, whatever he could do to fix the building up or help with it, because
Yeah.
it's such an old building, and it, you know, it just always needed
So
constant
here,
work.
yeah.
But we could go away for a week or two or longer and not worry about it. We'd call in maybe once a week, and now with cell phones, we just tell them, if you have a problem, call us. Otherwise, we don't even call.
That's good. That's good you do that.
Yeah, we went to Egypt a few years ago, and that was a wonderful time.
Yeah.
All the Roman and Greek ruins there. We took a kind of a river cruise for several days, and every time they'd stop, here was another part of where some government had a new capital, and if the Greeks would take over, they'd build a new one down here. Well, they built the one down at Alexandria, and
Yeah.
that was named after Alexander the Great. He was a Greek leader, and he died before he ever got the chance to live there.
Really?
But when the Romans took over, then they built one here, their Karnak, and all these different, and it's just beautiful structures. Most of them are damaged from earthquakes and other wars and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just so much fun to go to these countries. I was a history minor in college, and I love history. I just really love it. And to go over and walk where Hitler and Julius Caesar and Napoleon, going to Napoleon's house.
Yeah.
And after hundreds of years,
Well, that's good.
I think that makes sense too with what you're doing upstairs, kind of preserving the town's history.
well, yeah, for now, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's kind of what I do. So I still like to work. I still like to spend money, and I don't get a big salary, but I still get paid a little bit for showing
sure.
up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But we're just so lucky. Our health is the main thing, you know, and we can't really have a lot of good fun, or I shouldn't say have a good life if our health is bad. And when we're young, we don't realize it, that we're going to have problems even when we don't drink and smoke and do all the bad stuff.
And I'm sure you don't smoke.
Not no more, no.
So just when I thought we were done, I stopped recording because Grandpa and Gary just they kept talking, which was really fun to watch, but I figured it wouldn't be necessarily interesting for you guys to hear about all the old guys they used to hang around with as kids. It was very irrelevant to the rest of the video. So I stopped recording, and just when I did, Grandpa mentioned this coin that Gary had given him previously. And it turns out that Gary had one on him, and he gave me one too, which was incredibly kind, incredibly sweet. So this is that. Sorry that you're catching it kind of in the middle, but this is that information. This is why he does that.
Candy bar with it, and maybe even get change. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought it's kind of neat to give away.
Yeah, and now I actually saved mine. He gave me
Well, you
one.
want to cash it in and buy something? I'll take it 50 cents. If two of them, if you can wrestle that one from Taylor here. Then.
Yeah, actually, I took mine along right away, and I showed the car player.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
they all got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
I said I got this from Gary Keller. Yeah.
Well, what I usually do now is I give these Sakakawea dollars or President dollars.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because I like coins. I'm kind of a coin collector. And anyway, I was always impressed even with the Susan B. Anthony coins,
Oh, yeah.
which never gained much popularity. And at the time when they quit using the Susan B. Anthony's, they had $90 million worth in vaults, government vaults.
Whoa.
And over the years, they've all been taken out. They're coin collectors, and people are even using them. And once in a while, when I go to the bank to get these dollar coins, if they don't have any or only have a few, then they'll ask me if I want the Anthony ones, and I do. So I give those out too. But if a kid or a grown-up has a birthday, I like to give them this because so many people have never seen them.
Yeah. That is true.
I really used to be surprised. Now it's a common thing. And just the other day, a guy had a birthday. I gave it to him, and he looked at it. What the heck is that? A nice? What kind of a coin is this? What's it for? And I said, well, look on the back there. And then then he looked at it. Well, it says $1. That's $1. And I said, yeah. Haven't you seen those before? And I said, they've been making those for 20 years. It's just that they're not widely used. Most people don't like to mess with coins.
Right. Yeah.
I really hope you enjoyed the video. This was a lot of fun to make, a lot of fun to edit and to rewatch through, although I had to do it quite a few times, and it's a long video, so I'm sure you can imagine. But I wanted to touch on just a couple of things. One, Gary was so sweet, so humble. He said at the beginning, we came in, I had no intention of filming this day. And for reference, I'm pretty certain, about 99%, that we kind of caught him off guard with trying to schedule last minute. Hence his his little nod to we usually like you to call a day ahead in the beginning. But so kind. And when we first started, I wasn't going to record. He started talking, and I was immediately engaged by him. He's just so knowledgeable and enthusiastic. He kind of has like an effervescent quality, right? Where he's just feels very youthful and lively, especially when he starts talking about these things he cares about, which I guess is why I like these storytelling type videos. And when he started talking, I knew that I wanted to record him. So I said, Gary, do you mind if I record you? He's like, oh, well, yeah. And I was like, well, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. I told him, I was like, if you don't want me to, I won't. And he said, yeah, people have asked me to do it before, but I don't think I'm very good at it. And he's like, but I mean, if you want to, yeah, that's okay. And I told him at the end, I was like, Gary, you were phenomenal. Like, you looked at me, you ignored the camera to the point you needed to ignore the camera. Like, you were so natural and great in your delivery that it was mind-blowing to me. So just a lovely guy, a lovely experience. And I wanted to touch on the last note because I mentioned earlier, I said, I think it's really great what him and his family have done. He mentioned his brother Dick a lot and some of his siblings who had helped out in getting that upper hotel up to a certain standard for people to come and view it. And I mentioned to him, I said, Gary, I think it's great that you guys are doing this because I think in some way how much you love history is being reflected in how you're taking care of this place. I didn't say it that eloquently, I guess, but I could see the parallel between his love for history and coin collecting and all that stuff and how how it's been managed upstairs and his excitement for sharing it. And, you know, he was humble about it, of course, but he said, oh, yeah, for now. And it's so sad, isn't it? Because you go to these small towns, and on this trip we went to a few. We went to towns where there was no stores left in the town. We went to Forbes to get some kuga and to get some sausage, and it was the only store left in town. And it was a really small town, and there was a lot of places that were closed. There wasn't much left. And a lot of these towns, the history is being lost. The places are being forgotten, and it's a really sad thing, frankly. I guess my point is that I hope those stories don't get lost to time. I hope that the people who live there, the machines, the artifacts, the houses of those times don't fully get lost to history. And I don't just mean America, I mean worldwide. This is a natural occurrence because times change, things change, and, you know, the trees might get taller, but a lot of those other things go away. And I guess cherish what you have while you have it is the message to take away here. If there's people like that you know that you care about, that you want to remember them, then I encourage you to talk to them and find out about their stories and go to these small towns and show patronage, show interest, because they're everyday people. They're just as average as the rest of us. And while maybe you might have different political viewpoints or, well, religious viewpoints, if you just look at them as people, you're exactly the same. We all are. So, yeah, I'm excited to keep making these videos. I hope I'm able to document more stories with fun and interesting people as time goes on. But, yeah, that's it for this time. Until next time, everybody. See you then.